Franklin School.
Oh, fantastic! Good morning, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. This is very exciting.
What makes it so exciting?
Well, you know, normally Camel would just kind of go through the desert, you know what I'm saying? So it didn't get you kind of boring. So it's especially wonderful to be with children and to share this great, great moment with you about being high.
Are you high?
Yeah, I'm high.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'm high too.
Well, I hope they get that figured out. That's what that's all about.
Life is about being high. And we're going to talk about that, don't we? Got it just a little bit, right, Frankie? Listen, you're also very, very much, you look like your cousin.
Oh, don't talk to me about my cousin Joe Camel.
You all know Joe Camel? Some of the folks, there was an ad for Camel cigarettes that had Joe Camel because he's real cool.
Do you know the drug that kills most people in the United States and in the world?
Anybody know what that is? The drug that kills most people. Cigarettes. Cigarettes. Nicotine. But you have a very, very special message, and then I want to just interact with the folks and you can take a little rest. Would that be okay?
Oh, that'll be just fine.
What is your message? You have a message that's very important about drugs.
Yeah, here it goes. I do not have a mind of my own. I have to use his, excuse me, oh, sorry. I have to use his mind. I do not have a voice of my own. I have to use his voice. I do not have a heart of my own. I have to use his heart for feelings. So here's the deal, folks. When you take a drug, it's going to change how you think, it's going to change how you talk, and it's going to change how you feel.
It's like the drug takes over.
Right. The drug takes over completely. You don't have you anymore. You got something else occupied in your mind, in your mouth, and in your heart. So would you mind telling these young people how they can get high naturally?
Wouldn't that be great if we could do that? High, naturally. That's the secret.
So tell them how to do that, okay?
I would be delighted to do that. So, you want to go take a little rest?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Listen, young people, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, and I wish you much, much happiness and joy in your life. Okay? Bye-bye.
Wow, did you young people light up when I said I was high? I have a joy in my heart to be here. For young people who live in a society in which there's so many, many people that are getting high on marijuana, alcohol, cocaine, pills. It's like they don't like the way they feel. So we gotta change how we feel by popping or smoking or drinking something else. So I have a little bit of a formula to help you to to deal with any urge that you might have to do anything of taking a drug or smoking cigarettes or anything that enters your body that is not meant to be there. Let's take marijuana as an example. When these lights begin to go, these fluorescent lights up here, what begins to happen? It gets darker, yeah, because they start going out. But they do something between the light and the total dark. They flicker. They flicker. They start going like this. When someone smokes marijuana, they get what I call brain flicker. It means that our brains are made up of hundreds of millions of what we call neurons. The little tiny neurons that run by electricity. Did you know that you ran by electricity? We're this incredibly marvelous computer. In order for you to know where you are right now, in order that you know your name, in order that you remember what you did this morning before getting to school, you figure what you're going to do after school, to be able to do that, all these neurons are just bouncing around and doing their work so that they can tell you who you are, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and so on. What marijuana does is it gums up the jumping off points of these neurons and slows them up. And so the electrical firing, which is meant to be very exciting and very active, begins to slow up. And they get sluggish. And you get zoned out. And you lose your motivation. You lose your drive. And you begin to lose yourself. What I want to teach you is explore with you, what do you do instead when you don't like the way you feel? When you're scared? When your parents, or maybe one of your parents is doing some kind of drugs, and maybe it's abusive to you, and don't tell anybody about it. You get caught in a web of fear, of anxiety, and you feel awful. And you might be tempted to say, I've got to change how I feel. I want to give you a way of doing that naturally.